I'm gonna do that quick, actually.
All right.
I feel like I'm gonna be really low though. Oh, breaking stuff on stream. Oh, it's not bad. Actually, yeah, it's pretty bad.
You hear about David Stern?
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, it's tough. Tough. Actually, I'm switching back on this. Can you, actually, you probably can't.
What's up?
Like, I have it right now on my work phone that I don't have the option to hang up on you, but you have it up so you can hang up on me. Do you know what I'm saying?
You don't have that option?
Yeah, you can get rid of those icons. I'm pretty sure all you have to do is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know how to do it on your laptop, but I know how to do it on the phone. You just click them. You click on the screen physically, and then it gets rid of all those icons at the bottom.
I'll have to look into that because, yeah, that would be more appealing. We could see more of your ugly face. We're live, by the way, so.
I know.
Okay.
Thank you.
How'd y'all do last night? It's I don't want to talk about it because I was in first place for like literally half the night, winning like $500 in a small GPP, and then the same thing happened to me last night where like I'm not even kidding, like 5 minutes left, and what was the last game? It was a high paced game. It was Portland Phoenix. Was that the game?
Last game was the Dallas game in OKC.
Yes. Yep. Somebody did something in that game where it just took me all the way down. I think I lost a little bit, but I didn't lose. But it was frustrating because I was up $500. 500, and it does that big of a
the
swing.
Porzingis news prior to the game starting. I mean,
yeah.
Thanks.
All right, people are filtering in here, so we'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah, Sloppy, we'll touch base a little more on how we did last night when we start actually talking.
As far as size of GPPs, I always do a really small one, and I'm not even kidding, like a 3-man, and then I will work my way up. So I'll make sure I enter a 3-man. I'll make sure I enter like a 10, 20, and then I'll do a big one just in case my lineup decides to go off. So that's my strategy for GPPs. I know TJ likes actually triple ups. Triple ups aren't bad either.
Yeah, I like the multipliers, but when I do GPPs, I mostly focus on single entries and high entry fee. So, I mean, I guess $33 isn't high, but $50 to $100, I like dabbling in those. Higher payout, more people cash. So, whatever tickles your fancy. I mean, go with whatever you're comfortable with, but.
You want to go ahead and get started? It looks like there's 12 people in here. It keeps going up, so.
Yep.
All right, guys. The video. It's pretty much up to date, except for this injury news from Orlando. I said if Aaron Gordon got ruled out, I like a little bit of these Magics. I will go ahead and look at the roster right now. TJ, what's your overall opinion on the Magic without Aaron Gordon?
Do you want to touch base real quick on last night?
Yeah, we can do that first. That's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to touch base on the cash lineup that we provided to our customers. Ended up cashing pretty easily, finished with 300.5. On stream, I had mentioned that I was going to lock in Kai Bowman, Marquise Chris, and Alec Burks. And then I had mentioned that Draymond Green and Damian Lee were also floaters. I actually ultimately had them in the lineup as well. So went with 5 Golden State Warriors last night.
I saw that.
Yeah, so not a lot of people actually had that, which was nice. Then went to that Houston game like I talked up. Harden didn't get as much run as I thought, obviously, because Houston actually blew out Denver, which I was kind of surprised at. But he still hit value. Capella still hit value. And then we had Ibaka, who also didn't see as many minutes in that fourth quarter because of a blowout. They ended up beating Cleveland by 20. It looked like it was a competitive first half, but then the second half, Toronto took over. So last night was a successful night for our customers and the double-up lineup that we provided. and looking to keep that going in 2020. Start off with the dub.
Yeah, we did miss on the Jamal Murray. I see Sano just put Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was a miss just because he just wasn't hitting shots. Like we said, he's very volatile, so he's a hit or miss for GPPs. But I'm not mad about it because I had limited exposure to him. He ended up being 11% owned, so if he did do well, we would have had a really good night. I think that was the difference maker for me, having just a little bit over 11% of Jamal Murray. So, I want to talk about how we. The past couple nights we've talked about our core. Our core has been doing really, really well. We mentioned the Warriors last night as being the core. We mentioned the Houston Rockets being a core a couple nights ago. We've been doing really well with that. I think tonight is a little different because it is a tougher slate. I won't lie to you guys. If you look at Minnesota, which I had mentioned on the video. I know I don't like talking about blowouts, but man, it's a 17.5 spread on the game. Like I had mentioned, it looks like Gorgie Zhang is the only guy that pops on our sheet. Shabazz is playing 30 minutes and he's still 5.8. Like, what are your thoughts on that, TJ? Should you even consider any of these T-Wolves with the blowout potential? At least for cash. Let's start with cash.
Yeah, so first and foremost, this slate is terrible. There are no really intriguing games. The game that I'm looking at the most is that Orlando and Washington game. But when it comes to Minnesota and Milwaukee, obviously Minnesota is decimated. Jake Layman's been out for a while. Cat's still out. Wiggins is out. And now it looks like Teague's doubtful. I don't think Teague's going to play. We're still pending Graham. We're pending Vonleh, and then we're pending Okogie. It looks like Okogie's going to play, but we're still pending Graham and Vonleh. They're both questionable. That spread is so scary, and I know we talk about blowouts and how you can't really. You can look at Milwaukee and just say they've been unbelievable so far. Best regular season so far to date for that. I don't even know what I'm saying. The Bucks have been the best team so far to start the regular season. They've been incredible. They've been absolutely smoking everybody. They have the best defensive team right now in the NBA. So it's a really scary matchup. And I understand that with all these guys being out for Minnesota, you'd expect some guys to step up. But we got a price bump on Napier. We got the price bump on Culver. We got the price bump on Zhang, Covington as well a little bit. So, I mean, this game could get very ugly very fast. If there's one guy I'm looking at, it's probably Culver and Zhang. Those are the two that intrigue me. But cash, I'm probably not going to have anybody from Minnesota, but we'll see. We'll see what else opens up.
You also can't get to you can't overreact on Culver because he had a really, really good game last game. It was 41.25, but if you look at his previous games, I mean, even when he was given minutes, so if we look in the mid-20 ranges here, 28, he got 36. 25, he got 26. 24, I mean, he's still barely hitting value in all these games at 4.8, and that's what I'm saying with a price tag like that and the blowout potential. I still look to other players on the slate in general, but I can generally agree with you. If Culver is seeing the highest percentage ownership on that team, he might be a viable option for cash.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing with Minnesota is they still have 11 guys that'll probably see the floor tonight. And that's the scariest part, is that they don't have that tight of a rotation. So when I say Jarrett Culver for cash, it's more of just there aren't a lot of value plays tonight. So you might be stuck in that range. And I feel like he's a decent option at 4.8. Obviously, if I can avoid him in any of these Timberwolves, I'm going to. And right now, the build that I have doesn't involve any Timberwolves. So hopefully that trend continues because, like I said, this game could get ugly fast.
Yeah, so fast. I think with what you just said, I think we need to focus on guaranteed points at this point in the slate because, if you look at Orlando, Washington, their over-under is at least both of those teams are projected more than Minnesota. Portland, New York, I mean, obviously a up-tempo game. Phoenix and the Lakers, same thing. So I think you need to target players rather. If you're looking for mid-range plays and studs, you're going to look towards those teams.
Yeah.
I want to touch base on Orlando because Orlando does not have Aaron Gordon in the lineup Yeah, they don't have Aaron Gordon in the lineup. So if we look at last game for them, I know Vooch was a decent play. Isaac actually did fairly well without Aaron Gordon on the court. Fournier also hit value, and Fultz, I believe, had another good game. So these guys all are hitting value. When it was a lower pace game, and now they're projected an up pace against Washington. Do you like anybody from Orlando?
Yeah, definitely. Especially on a 4-game slate, there's not too much to choose from. So the guys I'm looking at on Orlando right now are going to be Vooch, and unfortunately, I think I'm going back to the well with Terrence Ross. He let me down a couple nights ago. Shot 2 of 11, 0 of 4 from 3. I mean, he hits 2 of those threes, he hits value. So he's a very freaky shooter. He should see 28 minutes off the bench. But guys like DJ Augustine are also good cash plays tonight. He should see 28 minutes. Markelle Fultz is somebody I'm not that high on, but if I had to take another starter besides Vooch, I'm probably going to go with Fournier because I feel like the minutes are going to be there. Logged 37 last game. For some reason, Popcorn Machine won't show their last. It won't show the Magic game against the Hawks from December 30th, so I can't see the rotations that they ran. But it obviously looked like those starting 5 with Windu not seeing 30 minutes. All the other starters saw 30 plus, and then Augustine and Ross both saw 28 plus off the bench. I expect that to be the same trend tonight. I kind of almost hope Beal plays because I feel like that might keep it a little bit closer. But I mean, hey, the Wizards handled their own without Beal last game against Miami. Who says they can't do it again against Orlando?
Yeah, that was surprising.
Yeah.
If Beal does play, do you like that 8.7 price tag right there?
Yeah, that price tag is I mean, so he's coming back from a calf injury, so I don't know if they'll monitor his minutes at all. I mean, he plays 38 a game anyway, so I mean, what are they going to give him 34 if they do monitor him? So even with 34 minutes, if the game stays close, I mean, 8.7 is a pretty bad price tag. He hasn't been. I'm pretty sure he was below 9K recently. It was against Philly. He dropped a 60 bomb against Philly. He was 8-6. But besides that, he hasn't been below 9K since the beginning of December. So to see him at 8.7 is really intriguing if he's playing and if his minutes aren't monitored at all. But with McRae back, Gary Payton seeing some run now, Ish Smith even, they have a ton of guards that can go in and play. So if Beal's a little limpy or anything like that, he could see maybe 32, 33 minutes. But if he's a full go, 38 minutes, 8.7 in a competitive game, it's definitely intriguing.
The good news is, guys, that game does start the earliest at 6 o'clock, so we should get the injury news on stream.
Yeah,
so we should be able to go through that. Also, if you guys have any questions for anybody that is new to the stream, go ahead and ask the questions in the live chat. We do monitor all of those questions, so feel free to pop in there. Before we started streaming, TJ, I had mentioned a Windu at 28 minutes at 3K. I know you're not high on them. I know he's not a high fantasy point per dollar player, but it is a pace up game for them. It looks like his percentage ownership is virtually nothing. GPP. I don't think he's ever gotten 28 minutes. As you can see, 24 minutes is the highest.
I don't think he's ever hit value, even at that low.
Well, no, I mean, if you look at these minutes, he has never played 28 minutes. So you never know what he could do with 28 minutes. You're right. He probably won't do much. But if he's virtually showing no ownership, GPP all the way.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. You go wild with the Windu, but I'm all set. He doesn't do much for me.
3K is the cheapest price tag you can get on DraftKings.
I'd rather get Mo Bamba at 15 minutes against Washington, to be honest with you. But yeah, if he plays 28 minutes, he might get you 15 points. So I don't think he's worth it. But I hope if you take him and you're overweight on him, I hope he snaps for you.
Yep. So there's my GPP play right there. So we got a question. Who do we like most for cash from Minnesota? Like we were saying earlier, we don't really recommend anybody for cash from this game. Our favorite players are Culver, just because of the ownership, and Zhang, just because he probably is the best player on that starting roster. As sad as that is.
Who is?
Zhang.
Zhang's probably their best player right now. It's Zhang and Culver, the two guys that might carry some ownership in cash. Keelan Martin is getting some love. He got $1,000 price up. He was at 3K. He's at the minimum. Now he's at 4K. He's awful. So I don't know why he's getting any sort of ownership. I'd rather have Dante DiVincenzo tonight over Keelan Martin at the same exact price tag. So if he does carry 20% in cash, I'm just going to take that as a victory, and just that 20% of people is stupid. So that's plain and simple.
Got a question. I do a little 1v1, and I heard that to not listen to people like you guys because of how like in big pools. What? Can you read that question, TJ, and see if you get that?
Yeah, I'm struggling. Jarrett Simon says, I have a question. I do the little, so he does head to heads, and I've heard not to listen to people like you guys because of how like in the big pools, you need like high upside or something like that. Is that true? So in a 1v1, I don't think that's necessarily true. If you're doing GPPs, then yeah, you want guys with low ownership and high upside. I don't really do a lot of head-to-heads, to be honest with you, because they are tricky, because you don't really know how the person's going to play it, if they're going to go with guys with high upside or if they're going to go with guys that should have more ownership. But since you're only playing 1v1, hold up, let me reword.
Yeah. I'm a bit confused. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll circle back.
So let's talk about these other two games because we haven't talked about studs yet. It looks like the only two studs here are in the Lakers.
Yeah.
LeBron James, Anthony Davis, are they good plays?
Yeah. I mean, it's always a toss-up between LeBron and AD. Who is going to see, I mean, they both see about the same amount of minutes, 35-ish. They're both projected for 35. They both normally play 34 to 36. LeBron at 10.3 coming off his birthday. A lot of vino for LeBron. He still could be hungover. But I kind of like AD at 9.9 a little more against that Phoenix front court with Ayton still coming back. I don't think Ayton is – he's projected at 28 minutes right now. So I personally like AD a little bit, but I can see you going LeBron. I'd love to have both of them. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to. So I am going to have to pick probably between one because I definitely want one of them. And I'm still kind of deciding on who that's going to be. Right now it's LeBron, but I'm starting to lean a little bit more toward Anthony Davis.
It's also showing that against small forwards, Phoenix ranks 27th in the league. So that's also noteworthy.
Yeah, I mean, I expect LeBron to run point again tonight like he has been. And then I mean, AD is going to have Saric on him, I'd assume, but I would assume that I guess McGee will line up with Aiden. So I don't expect Dario Saric to really do too much against AD. But yeah, we'll see how the ownership checks out. They look like they're going to be the two highest owned guys tonight on the slate. But with rostering LeBron and AD, you're going to have to find some value somewhere. And that's the toughest part about tonight is there isn't a lot of value. So if you do roster both of them, it's kind of like, where do you go from there? If you only roster one, you have the option to go a little bit more mid-tier, like CJ McCollum, Fournier. A lot of people showing some love to Melo tonight, headed back to New York.
Yep,
I was going to mention that. Day, but the Knicks are terrible on defense. So, I mean, if Melo's going to shoot a lot, which he does, I think he's going to do it in New York, try and show off a little bit. So we'll see how that pans out. But he's been terrible as of late, so I don't really see that.
Yeah, there's always that narrative, with Melo coming back and getting that extended run. We'll see if that pans out. I'll have a decent amount of exposure to him. He's not a bad value at 5.3.
No, he's not a bad value.
So that's another thing is like Portland is projected at 115 against the Knicks. And it's not projected to blow. I'm assuming because the Knicks are playing at home. So Damian Lillard, a decent play. I think 9.2 is a little pricey. I was talking about Hassan Whiteside. Do you like him tonight?
Yeah, for sure. I like Whiteside and I like Randall on the other side too, because I think Randall's going to match up with Melo, and Melo can't play defense. So I think Randall could feast tonight. It's really tough because like we've had most nights, there's been a lot of good power forward / center plays, and tonight's the same thing. You got Vooch, you got Whiteside, and you have Randall. If you don't go up and get LeBron and AD, you can roster two of those guys, and it's kind of you want to try and decipher on what two you want. Right now, my build that I had before we streamed was LeBron and Vooch. I think Vooch will carry a little bit more ownership than Whiteside and Randall. But if I had to pick one to have the highest upside, I think it's going to be Julius Randle. So I like Randle as a GPP play tonight. Vooch, I think, will be more of a cash option. But I really do like Randle's matchup, especially if he's up against Melo.
Whiteside, just to also get to mention this, that Whiteside doesn't have to compete for any type of minutes tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
With Scal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So projected at 34 minutes. I know that's a little higher than what he normally is projected at. I'm assuming just because he has to be on the floor tonight. So 8.3. I'm pretty comfortable with it. I know that New York performs well against bigs, but Whiteside should definitely see a run. So I don't mind Whiteside tonight. We're getting a question about stars and scrubs or more mid-range tonight. That's a good question. I'm going to go ahead and go to my builds here, and we'll see what percentage showed up the most. So I have a lot of Zhang, which I'm going to edit because, like I said, I don't like a lot of Zhang tonight. I have plenty of LeBron and AD. So like we were saying, those are going to be your safe pay-up options tonight. I think, honestly, LeBron and AD could easily be over 70% owned, and both of them in cash, just because I think they're gonna fit the mold of all these builds. I have a little bit of Fultz, Simons, Anthony, Booker. It's kind of all over the place. I'd say there's not really too many elite options tonight. That's the thing. Is like LeBron is actually relatively cheap, and the same thing with AD. So, if you're asking for a stars and scrubs kind of lineup, I think it's going to be AD, LeBron, and then some. I'm thinking some 4 to 5 range. I think that's going to be the majority of the build. Because if you look here on the right here, it looks like, oh, wow, never mind. That's not the updated one. I need to go to my updated builds. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So mid-range with AD and LeBron, and then Zhang. I have a window in there. And then, yeah, so a lot of magic within the 4 to 5 range.
Yeah, I like that. I do like the Magic tonight. You were talking about, I think Portland's actually in a really good spot because the Knicks are not a very good defensive team. They're in the bottom half of defensive rating. Actually, they're 23rd in the NBA, so the bottom third. So the defensive rating isn't there for them. So Portland plays at a top half pace too. They're a top third pace. So I like that over under for the Trailblazers. I like that they're on the road too. Maybe it'll keep the game a little bit more competitive away from home. The over under also at 226 is one of the highest in the slate. So I think that going to guys like Whiteside, guys like Lillard, McCollum, and Melo are all great options tonight. But then again, if you do the stars and scrubs builds, it is tough trying to find. It's tough trying to find that value, whether it's Terrence Ross, Dante DiVincenzo, DJ Augustine, so guys from that Orlando game or guys from that Milwaukee game that should benefit from a blowout. We're also actually pending Wesley Matthews being out. So if Wesley Matthews is out, that should give a bump to Dante. So I could definitely see myself playing him at 4K. And then I also like Eric Bledsoe as a value play tonight. He's 5'5", so a little bit above that 4 to 5K range, but at 5'5", that's a very cheap price, and I know he could only play 20 minutes tonight, still coming back from that injury. I think he only played 16 last game. Against Chicago. He only played 16 minutes. He was still very efficient in those 16 minutes. So if you are going stars and scrubs, it's going to be really, really tough to differentiate between the value because there isn't really a lot tonight. And Sano just put in the chat that he's taking off tonight. Screw this slate. I mean, I don't blame you, man. It's a really tough slate tonight. It really is.
Hey, guys, what does it mean for cash? Okay, so cash is double ups, 50-50s, and you can even consider head-to-heads as cash because you're running the same kind of strategy for that. You want to grab as many high-owned guys that make sense mixed in with some sneaky plays. So that's the general... That's what you want to do for cash. So cash is where you double up on your money, or 50-50s, you make a little bit less than half of your money back. So that's what cash is. GPPs, you're trying to go for players with upside, low-owned guys that are under the radar, trying to take down the GPP and win a lot of money. So that's the difference between those two. What do you think of Bobby Portis as a cheaper option? Let's go ahead and look at him because I actually don't know.
Yeah, I kind of like Bobby Portis tonight. The power forward position is the worst position on the slate tonight. You can pay up for Giannis if you want to. There's Julius Randle. And then I feel like a lot of the ownership might go to Melo because you can save a little bit of money at 6K or 5.9. But besides that, when you get a little lower, you got Kuz at 4.6. Not really a great cash play tonight. If he sees 30 minutes, then yeah, definitely an option. But Bobby Portis getting the backup minutes and potentially playing those 20 minutes again, that's the one thing I don't like is the minutes that he's projected at. He doesn't really see anything over 24-ish. So in a competitive game, maybe he could see those 24 minutes and could make him a viable option. And like I said, the power forward position is very tough tonight. So I don't think going to Bobby Portis is that bad of an option.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think Bobby Portis is a decent GPP play, though. I projected at only 4%. I think it's too risky to start in cash.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, I agree. I don't like him as a quote unquote cash play. But with that being said, I mean, if he does see those backup minutes when Whiteside's off the court, who are they going to have? Tolliver in? Like, Tolliver can't handle Bobby Portis. And if they go small, it'll be, Melo at the 5. So, I mean, I understand the Bobby Portis play, but I think more of a GPP play, like Matt said. I think you can find different builds where you can go to somebody like Terrence Ross instead and kind of maneuver your lineups there so you can get somebody that might have a little bit more ownership so that if he has a dud night, you won't get burned as much.
I want to start talking about these builds. What's going to be your core? What's it going to look like tonight, TJ?
So right now, my core is LeBron, Booker, and Vooch for my studs. And then I'm trying to decipher what value plays I want to go with. And I'm landing on Terrence Ross and Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons has been slowly but surely taking away minutes from Bazemore. And that's shown true the last 3 games. I expect him to play 26 to 28 minutes again tonight. Bazemore probably seeing the same amount of minutes. So I kind of like Simons as a salary relief tonight at 3,500. I'm still waiting on that injury news with Wesley Matthews. I think if Wesley Matthews is out, that makes Dante DiVincenzo a really good play at 4,000. Probably he's projected like 22 minutes now. Probably should see 24 to 26 minutes if Wesley Matthews is out. And maybe a little bit more of a run if they're in a blowout situation. But yeah, so I think the Wesley Matthews play or the pending news is pretty big because if I can throw in Dante Simons and Terrence Ross, I think that opens up a little more value for some forwards. I might be able to go high on a couple more guys. But yeah, so my build right now, my core 4 that I have is LeBron, Booker, Terrence Ross, and Vooch.
Yeah, for the guys joining, I know there's a lot of new guys that have joined. First of all, welcome. We went over our favorite team to play, or the most undervalued team. I think TJ can agree with me on across the board is Orlando. We're still awaiting on that Bradley Beal news, which would shake it up a little bit. We'd like a little bit of the Wizards exposure, but we have yet to hear any news. So if you guys hear anything, please let us know in the chat. Ask any questions in the chat. We're gonna probably be streaming until we hear that Bradley Beal news.
Matt.
Yeah.
I'll be back in 30 seconds. I'm gonna pee my pants.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
So Whiteside, we actually talked about Whiteside. I mentioned in the video that Whiteside is a good play tonight, just because without Scal, with all the injuries on that team. He is projected to get 34 minutes, which is actually more than he's normally projected to play. So 34 minutes. He's just guaranteed to get a run. I know that New York ranks 10th in the league against Whiteside, or 10th in the league against bigs. So, Whiteside could be a hit or miss tonight, but he does have, he is getting that extended run. So we do like Whiteside tonight, and I just got an update that Bradley Beal is playing tonight. So We'll wait till TJ gets back on whether we want to play Beal or not. But Beal at 8.7 is actually very intriguing. Very, very intriguing. He should get extended run too. So, assuming he doesn't have a minute restriction, I actually do like. Hey, Beal is playing, by the way.
Nice.
Okay. So, do you want to have a lot of shares of Beal? Is Beal going to make it into your main lineup?
For cash, I kind of still like Booker at 7,400. To try and keep that game close against the Lakers. I'll have to check and see if there's any word on him having if they're going to monitor his minutes at all. He probably still should see 36 to 38 minutes, especially in a competitive game. So he could definitely find his way into my cash build. I'm going to run some numbers now and see what they look like.
Yeah, that which also makes every other player on that Washington team not really a good play, not viable. McRae priced up at 5.8 at 22 minutes. I'm not looking even close to him. Troy Brown's projected 24 minutes now, way overpriced. Gary Payton, same thing. I can just go up and down the list. The only person I would even consider is Mahimi, just because he's been balling. But
Dude, he was incredible the other night.
Yeah, he's been doing fantastic. And every time we pull up our sheet, I'm like, he's actually not that good in the sheet, and then he just puts up numbers. So
he's always decent. He's always a decent play on the sheet. Like he's a 5-3. He's a 5-3-5 right now on our sheet. Anything over a 5-5, guys, the sheet that Matt and I, Matt actually came up with a sheet that I use every single day. Anything over a 5-5 is a decent play, and he's a 5-3-5, so he's always on that borderline. But yeah, he was incredible against Miami.
Ante Antetokounmpo is
okay. So Wesley Matthews is out.
Matthews is out. Oh, you were just talking about that. So what are the minutes going to look like there?
It's still so. I mean,
Kevin Knox illness out. Does that change anything? Is he on the roster?
No, Kevin Knox.
He was.
That said Kevin Knox is in, right?
No, wait. I thought I read that he was out.
For sure, it said Kevin Knox is available to play.
Oh, it is.
Play.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Dotson available to play. It doesn't change anything. The Wesley Matthews news intrigues me because I feel like Dante is going to start now, and I like that at 4K.
All right, before you continue, I want to talk about that matchup one more time because we're getting more questions in the chat about our favorite cash plays for Minnesota. I get that there's so many injuries on Minnesota, but you're taking a huge risk by starting those guys. Not only are they priced accordingly, but there's blowout potential. I usually am completely against going against that notion of taking people and blowout games, but this is a blowout game. This could be a blowout game anyway. Honestly, it's a coin flip. So like I said on the stream, or like I said in the video, so it was a 54% chance. So literally a coin flip. So for GPP though, I don't mind any of these plays.
Yeah, I mean,
because if it is close, Minnesota could definitely pay off. So, but like I said, they're priced accordingly. So why would you do that to yourself? I think Orlando players are way better for tonight.
Yeah, I agree.
So you were talking about Milwaukee.
Yes, I ran it with. Yeah, I want to see what they do with Dante's minutes because he's right under 1 fantasy point per minute with Wes off the court, which
it could be a great
on our sheet. It also gives a little usage bump to Giannis. Now, if this game stays close at all somehow, and Giannis sees his 34 minutes, Giannis breaks the slate. If Giannis gets his full minutes, like he could be. It's all dependent on. I mean, they don't need him against Minnesota. Like he could play 24 minutes tonight, 25 minutes. I mean, I would assume he plays at least 28. Especially probably plays 14 minutes first half, depending on what they're doing against Minnesota. Like I said, 26 to 28 is definitely in the realm of possibilities if they blow out the Timberwolves. But if this game stays somewhat close and it's a 10-point game in the fourth and he gets his normal run and plays 33, 34 minutes, I mean, he breaks the slate 100%. He becomes a better play than LeBron and AD in my mind, even spending that extra 1,000 to get him. But right now, I'm going to assume that they just blow the doors off of this Timberwolves team and that he's not going to get those minutes, and I really hope he doesn't. Because if he does, it's scary.
Yeah, don't get it twisted, guys. Milwaukee's a great play if the game was close. Like, Milwaukee players are very intriguing. I would be all over Giannis tonight if it wasn't for the blowout potential. I mean, Eric Bledsoe at 5'5", as TJ mentioned earlier, is a great play.
Yeah.
Even Brook Lopez at 5'4". I mean, everybody's a great play on that team, and especially given the over/under of what they're projected at 119. So, great plays. It's just the blowout potential, guys.
Yeah, and I kind of think that if you guys are running some GPPs tonight, I'd take a stab on a guy like Pat Connaughton. With Wes out, could see 24-ish minutes, and at 3.6K, he could easily pay off his price tag, especially in a blowout. So GPPs, I kind of like Pat Connaughton as a sneaky play tonight.
I can agree with that. Yes, to answer your question, we do stream every day. At least we try to. We're gonna keep trying to do this every single day. It's great to talk with you guys. It's great to hear different opinions, answer questions. It gives us a better understanding of the slate too. The more we look at it, the better it sits in our minds, and the better our builds are. So I now with the minutes being updated, I want to refresh everything, and I want to run these builds because I want to give you guys a general direction now that we have all the injury news out. So I'm gonna do that for you guys. TJ, I'm moving your face real quick.
Yeah, get my ugly mug out of there. No one wants to see that. Bob Johnson asked in the chat, Connaughton or Hill. I like Connaughton, especially in a blowout. I don't think they use Hill if they're going to blow out Minnesota. I mean, he could get his 20 minutes, but I like Connaughton with the upside of actually being in there in the fourth quarter in a blowout. So my thought process is take Connaughton, especially in a GPP. If you're looking for some value, I'd go Connaughton.
I'm waiting for my builds to get done here. Okay. So I have a lot of Magic still. I have McCollum, I have AD, I have LeBron. So pretty much what we said before. Bradley Beal being in there looks like about 20% of my lineups. So are we on the Bradley Beal train? I guess we wrap around to that question again, or no? Do you think he's a good fade?
I'm updating the minutes right now for Milwaukee. It looks like they bumped up Dante to 25. So,
oh yeah, they just updated the minutes.
Sterling Brown comes in the mix a little bit too at 3.1, only 12 minutes, but that might take away from Connaughton, which kind of scares me. So tread lightly on that Connaughton news, but I still like him as a GPP play. I think now, I'm sorry, what did you say about
Bradley Beal?
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about Beal. I'm still waiting to see if they come out with anything regarding his minutes. I think that's huge. Because if he plays his normal 36, 38 minutes in a competitive game at 8.7, like, I'm all over that. But
35 minutes is what he's projected at now.
Yeah, so even 35 minutes at 8.7, I don't think you can go wrong with that price tag. I think that's way too cheap for Bradley Beal.
Yeah, let me do this. Let me see what injuries are looking like here for the Wizards. So everybody's still out. Bryant, Wagner, Bertans. Let me go ahead and calculate this on stream for you guys. See what it's looking like.
I think he's only a 1-2, but
oh really?
I don't really buy into that. But yeah, you can run those numbers now and see what they are. Yep. The only thing I'm scared about is like McRae being back, and he's played unbelievable, especially last game. Gary Payton is going to get some minutes. Then obviously they have IT Davis, so that's the one thing that kind of scares me with Beal. It's just that they have so many guards now, and especially him coming back from the calf injury, that he might not see those 35 minutes. So I just want to make sure that we have the
Bradley Beal 1.36 with the injuries, over 100-minute sample size, so I'll take it. We know his potential with everybody off the court too, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go do that. I actually like Bradley Beal as a good GPP play. I really do, because at least with the current projections, it shows him at 19%. If he's really only gonna be 19% in tournaments, I'm gonna go overweight on that. That's just me. That's me, because if you look in that same range at 8.7, like who's gonna be in that range? Like Damian Lillard, I think he's a better play than Damian Lillard.
Yes, I agree.
Who else? Whiteside. Yeah, Whiteside's a good play. Vooch. There's no other guards in that range, so that could definitely be that could be a great play for you if you play Bradley Beal in the guard position. Definitely good for GPPs. Core lineup today. Yeah, we post a total lineup on our website. If you want to give your favorite core again, TJ, I don't think this guy was in here when you gave that away.
So my core just changed a little bit with the Dante news. So I'm actually fixing this right now. Let's see if I can make this so. So my core right now stands as I just don't like. Jared Culver is just staring me in the face at 4-8. I hate it. I hate it.
I mean, he's not a bad play. He's not a bad play.
I know. I might go to him, but I'm still on the fence. My core right now is going to be Booker, Dante DiVincenzo, Vooch, and Terrence Ross. So somebody asked Booker or Rubio. I like Booker. I don't think Rubio's a bad play, but I like Booker in this situation against the Lakers.
Who's up for Milwaukee besides Matthews? Is it just Matthews? It's just Matthews. Yeah. Okay. Let me look at that, see if it changes up anybody. You touched base on that earlier, right?
Yeah, Dante's getting the start, so I like Dante and I like Bledsoe.
I do at 4K. I think that's a great pick.
And then Connaughton off the bench in a good blowout situation. I like that as well. As a GPP play.
What's Dante's minutes looking like?
25. He should see 26, 4K. I mean, could get some more run even in a blowout. So I like him a lot.
For the people in here, I was actually curious on this because I've been messing around with a couple ideas for our website. While everybody's in here, would you guys be intrigued by this idea of me putting my custom projections out to the website as an Excel file? I would be updating these, pretty much every hour, and I would update it all the way through the stream. If you guys would like my custom projections, let me know, because I know we got some DMs with and even comments on the video with my projections being pretty spot on recently. So would that be intriguing for you guys? For anybody who would be interested in that? Yeah.
Can I answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. Dante is a 6 now on the sheet. At least that's what it's showing for me.
I actually have him as a 6. I got him at a 6 too. So
6-2. Okay.
Yeah. So he's definitely locked in there. Cool. So that opens up a little bit more value. And I kind of I keep looking at Julius Randle too at 8K.
You like him. You like him a lot tonight.
I do. I really do. He's been playing some great ball too, and he's been seeing a ton of minutes, especially since the head coach change. I think he's averaging like 1.36 fantasy points per minute. He's getting the minutes that he deserves now too. So, in a competitive game, I mean, he's put up 30 the last 3 games. It's a great matchup against the Trailblazers. He's gonna get mellow. So I keep looking at Julius Randle.
I don't mind him. I just think there's a lot of center options tonight. There's a lot of different ways you could go, from Vooch to Whiteside to Randle, and even Zhang. Zhang was popping off in a lot of my projections. Yeah, Dante's. All right, we'll say this. I know TJ has to go here pretty soon. Dante is, the more we look at him, the better of a play he is with him starting now. I like the Magic still. We still got to have AD and LeBron in the majority of these lineups. They're going to be chalk. Bradley Beal's not a bad play for GPP. Bradley Beal's one of my favorite plays for GPP. Zhang, if it keeps it close, Zhang is a great play. Great play. Again, this is if it stays close. What I recommend for you guys for a GPP, I would advise a contrarian stack of the T-Wolves in at least one of your GPPs, because if it is close, they could pay off. So I will say that, not for cash because of the blowout potential. I've never said that yet this season. I usually advise against looking at anything with blowout potential, because you'll ruin your. Sorry guys about the dog. You'll short yourself out of so many points if you do it that way. But this game, 54% blowout potential. I would stay away from it in cash. Go towards the Magic if you're looking for for any kind of value.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
And Dante.
Someone asked Dante or Connaughton. Yeah, Dante.
Yes.
Connaughton, more of a GPP play.
Looks like I'm going to be overweight on Dante.
You should be.
Yep.
I think he's going to be pretty chalky in cash too. So.
You think so?
Yeah. Should be.
All right. I think I'm going to get off here pretty soon. Any last comments on the slate, TJ, before you go make your lineup, before you craft it?
Finalize it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go wrong with the Magic going to Washington tonight. I really like Vooch. I like Terrence Ross. I mean, if Terrence Ross can hit shots, he's a great play at 4,200. It just depends on how he shoots, and that's the frustrating thing is a majority of his points are going to come off if he can hit shots. He hasn't been getting a lot of open looks this year, so hopefully tonight against the Wizards, he can knock down a couple threes, which would be huge. So right now, like I said, my core, I'm leaning toward Booker, Terrence Ross, Dante, and Vooch. And now I'm still trying to decipher if I want AD or LeBron. And to find out, become a member. I'll be posting the lineup in 3 minutes. So hop on board. And yeah, come find out which avenue I'm going to take.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate the support as always. For the new guys, please hit that subscribe button to get up-to-date updates on when we're going to go live on our videos and our streams. We like to, go over the slate every single night on live stream. So be sure to be first to that every single night. So with all that being said, guys, let's have a great night. Let's have a great Wednesday. Happy New Year. And let's cash.
Happy New Year, guys.